Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Naruto because I just finished watching Shippuden and I really enjoyed it. I will say that if you are going to be watching Naruto for the first time like I just did, please use a filler guide because Naruto is kind of infamous for having a lot of filler, and unfortunately that is true. I'm pretty sure about like 40% of the show is filler. I'm not even joking about that. There's like entire seasons of filler, which is not great. Although I've also heard the same thing for Bleach, which doesn't make me excited because I actually want to maybe watch Bleach, although that's also a very long show. But what I really like about Naruto is just how engaging it is the entire way through while being very long. I think it's very hard to be engaging as a shonen for a very long time, for like a very long stretch and a lot of episodes and a lot of seasons, but Naruto manages to do it. And I really, really like that. And I also just the same thing I said in my last few Naruto videos. I just like all the characters. All of them are great. They each have their own personalities, and I just like how they clash with Naruto. I like how they have to work together. Just generally, a lot of the shonen beats that are here have been in other shonen. Maybe done slightly better, but I feel like Naruto does a great job at just building a great sense of community and friendship in the world of Naruto. It's just great. But I also just really, really like how wholesome the ending is with Naruto, spoilers, Naruto and Hinata's wedding, which is very, very sweet. And I also like how you get to see different perspectives before the wedding of like Sasuke's story and Shikamaru's story, just giving a little bit more depth in their characters as well and what they're doing after the war arc ended. Speaking of the war arc, I really, really liked it. Generally, again, very engaging. The entire show was very engaging, which is hard to do as a shonen with, how long it is. But again, I feel like Naruto does it pretty well. And also just get, again, like all the characters growing and maturing as people is really, really nice to watch. The best one probably being Naruto himself, especially in terms of fighting, because I feel like in the original series, it really wanted to point out how Naruto was improving. He was training at the end of Naruto, but he was still a kid. He still isn't like, amazing. He was still kind of winging it a lot of the time. Naruto in this show, in Shippuden, was a lot better. I feel like he matured way more as a person, which makes a lot more sense because, he was actually aging, which makes sense. But also just generally, again, I feel like he just got way better at fighting and becoming an actual shinobi. And just generally, I like the fights a lot in Shippuden, especially with Naruto versus Pain. I love that fight, but I also just like the entire war arc, that big fight in the war arc as well. Both of those fights were stellar, really, really well animated. And again, I just like how wholesome the ending is. I maybe it's because I just recently watched it. I literally just got done watching it like a few hours ago, but again, I just like how wholesome the ending is with the wedding, and I like how kind of exaggerated the animation style is. It kind of reminds me in a funny way of like FLCL with how like vibrant everything, or not vibrant in terms of like color, but how vibrant each character is and just how they react. You may call it overreacting. I call it, actually entertaining sort of filler, even though it's not. Like, it's very, very entertaining, and I like how they have to find their own ways to put their own personality into their gifts at the end, even though you don't get to actually like see the full blown gift giving at the end of the show that much. But I feel like where it leaves off is perfectly fine with them, going out into the wedding ceremony. And I like the ending a lot. And I will say, if you are going to be watching the show, before you watch like the last, I would say like 15 episodes before Sasuke's story starts, basically. I recommend watching the last Naruto the movie to just get you up to speed with Naruto and Hinata's relationship, because otherwise you're kind of gonna be going into it like how the fuck did they get together? Where did this come from? And then if you watch the movie, it makes a lot more sense. So again, I highly recommend watching that movie. And I also really, really like that movie. The villain in it wasn't like super intimidating. It wasn't like extremely interesting, to be honest. But I did like that it also gave a little bit of context to what was actually happening on the moon, because I was a little, not concerned, that's obviously the wrong word, but I was a little bit confused about what was going on, and I thought they would just leave that completely unexplained because one of the brothers stayed on Earth just to, sort things out, and then the other one just went straight to the moon, and then I wanted to see what happened there, and you get some context there, so that's nice. But again, just also, the movie itself is really wholesome. You get to see Naruto and Hinata's relationship grow immensely in that movie, and I really, really like it. Again, it's not I don't think so much about the villain. It's more just about Hinata's and Naruto's relationship and them growing as people, and I really, really enjoy that. And again, the entire show with Sasuke and Naruto, especially at the end of the war arc, was really, really exciting to watch. And again, then them just growing as people and realizing that, sometimes you just have to take them for what they are. You just have to learn and grow as a person. You don't have to always fight them to try to get your own ideals across. Sometimes it's okay to be in the wrong and just suck up to it and just do your own thing. And that's what Sasuke does at the end. And that's what's also explored a little bit in Sasuke's story, which is nice. And him just going out on his own, but still being connected to the Leaf, to Shinobi of the Leaf, which is really, really cool. Or the village hidden leaves. You get my point. So, yeah, again, I'm bad with names, but I hope I got just across how good this show was. Really, really good. Again, probably in my top 5 in terms of shonen. Again, especially in terms of long-term shonen, like very, very long shonens. It does a great job at keeping my attention and just generally building a lot of world building and character development and just everything you want in an anime. Even though it maybe is a little bit on the nose and exaggerated over time, at some points, it's still just a really entertaining show to watch, and I highly recommend anybody who hasn't seen Naruto somehow to go watch it. Please go watch it. Great shonen show. Again, really, really like the fights in the show as well with the end of the war arc, and just generally all the characters growing as people is really, really satisfying to watch. And yeah, and them also getting into relationships is really cool as well. So yeah, that is basically going to be it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.